Buddy, Taff coming in with the Taff's words, and as the title suggests, this is all about the coming back down to earth following the Leicester game, with the Crew list of losses against Crew. Yeah, we certainly we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory up there. I'm glad that it didn't go in the end, because that would have been a hell of a horrible, annoying trip home. It was annoying enough looking at Jeff Stelling's smug face on Soccer Saturday when the third goal went in and it popped up on the bloody video printer. If I was actually there, I would have absolutely lost my head. I mean, how can we be taken to such heights, you know, beating a Premier League team in the FA Cup, to be subjected to that? Just, it pretty much hit the nail right on the head, of it, really, where Fling come out in the week and said these players could be playing at a much higher level. It's just their consistency levels. Well, certainly proved that if they were able to defend the way they defended against Leicester, but the calamitous defending that resulted in their third goal, the poor decision making that resulted in the foul that gave away the penalty while we were 2-1 up. Because I wasn't there, and I know a lot of emphasis is put by people who were there on the opinions of people who weren't there not being valid, but I will take into consideration the way Tim Thraves is commentating a match. Now, he's not going to be telling me that the Crew, that Crew were dominating the game if they weren't. So if we were actually dominating the game, then he's not going to be constantly going on about Crew players being on the ball, putting the ball in the box, oh, and a chance, Katie could be in trouble here, constantly throughout the entire first half. So the fact is, judging by what I heard, and Tim Thraves is very good at reading a game of football, I'm pretty sure he was calling it at the right end of the pitch. We probably could have been down by more than one at half time. So a lot like the Swindon game, really, when we were away there. We could have been down by a lot more than just one at half time. So we came out with a better mentality and an opportunity to turn the game around. Plenty of time, 45 full minutes, and we seized upon that. We actually came out better, got the equaliser, went up by 2-1, and just had to see the game out. So all we had to do was just see the bloody game out. And 88 minutes, we gave away a stupid penalty, and then went on and lost the game in stoppage time. And they always say these things swing and roundabouts, and we've won our games, and we've won some games in stoppage time ourselves this season. You know, we've scored stoppage time equalisers this season as well. I suppose, you know, we can't really complain if it happens to us a couple of times, but the fact is, it happens to us all the pissing time. Even when it's not happening for us, it happens against us regularly enough anyway. You know, I think in this season could have been one where it doesn't happen to us, and it's our turn to have the last laugh on the old last-minute goals. But it's just not how, you know, being a Newport County supporter, these are the things you certainly have to be used to. So if you haven't been going for long, these are the things that happen all too often. You know, this is pure Newport County for you, to go and beat Leicester 2-1 and then lose at Crew after being 2-1 up in the last few minutes. Who could forget, I think it was a bank holiday Monday, back in our conference days. It was our second season in the conference, the season we could have gone back down, and we ended up going to Wembley at the end of that season as well. And on bank holiday Monday, on the Easter bank holiday, we went to Kidderminster and we were 2-0 up. In the last minute we were 2-0 up, and somehow 3 last minute goals saw us lose the bloody game. I'm thinking that is about as Newport County as you can get, but we can't deny the fact that we have been spoilt this decade. The Tens have been a very, very fruitful decade for our football club, and us fans have had plenty of good memories to shout about. So I think there's frustration. You know, when you're a fan, you want your team to win that much, that when they don't and they lose the game in the way that they did on the weekend, it frustrates the living shit out of you, and it's horrible. It is a horrible, horrible feeling to lose a game of football in that way. It's bad enough to just lose a game of football, but then, you know, we play so many games. We play 46 league games a season, and we lose a decent percentage of them games throughout the season, but can still have a successful season. So losing is something, you know, you should just get over. You know, it's easier said than done, but you think, well, there's always next week. You know, we'll win next week, hopefully. Or if we lose it within a couple of weeks, we think, well, sorry, the win is just around the corner. It has to be. But to lose a game of football in the way that we did on Saturday, and in very similar circumstances, losing to 10 men against Stevenage the game before, or was it losing 4-1 at home to Forest Green? You know, it's got to the point. How much does this football club want to put us through? You know, I know it's not happening intentionally. That's obviously not what I mean by that. But you know, it's difficult to accept defeats in the way that we're taking them. You know, it's a hard old business being a Newport County supporter, but do it because we love where we're from. We love the club that represents us and where we're from, and we follow this club all over the bloody world if we had to go and watch them play and cheer them on and see them through. And regardless of how hard these losses hit us, we're still there the week after. And the only reason I didn't go to the Crew is because I think I've probably said in other blogs as well, you know, Christmas is a very, very expensive time of year for me. So sometimes I have to sacrifice a couple of games in January, which is exactly how it's had to go down. But what else can you really say, you know? What we can hope for is that the right signings happen now in January. There's talk of us going for... sorry, don't know where these yawns are coming from. Oh. Ugh. You think I should be fired up for this? I usually am as soon as I start thinking yes, but sometimes the yawns, they just kick in. Right, so what I was talking about, there are reports that we're interested in taking Regan Poole on loan, which for me would be a great move because centre back is one of the positions that I've said all along that we need. Now we've got good names in midfield, you know, your Labardi, Crofts, Dolan, Baconson, Sheehan. These names represent high quality for our league, but for some reason it's too fluid. People can get through that midfield too easy, bypass that midfield too easy. So we've got ball players, but we haven't got a wall in that midfield. We haven't got anything that can boss the midfield around. Crofts would have been a good candidate to do that, but he's injured too often. Labardi would be the perfect option, but he's injured again. The injuries are factoring in, of course. Consistency and injuries, they're the two things that are going to cost us a successful season. I mean, we're having a successful cup run, but the league season is absolutely dying a death at the moment. So what we need is someone who can consistently sit in that midfield, whether we have 3, 2 or 4 in there, who can break up the play, who can act like Mascherano used to do for Liverpool, you know, like Makelele used to do for Chelsea. Obviously, you know, we're never going to get anyone of that quality, but, you know, of a League 2 quality who can do that kind of job. We want one person who can sit in front of the defence and do that. Now, Scott Bennett, you could say, would be the one if we had to pick someone who is immediately in the squad at this moment. But I find him more effective as a centre-half than a midfield player, although I like it when he goes and has a wander, because when he comes forward he tends to catch players out, catch players in possession quite often. You know, he's always strong, you know, he always wins those 50-50 battles, so maybe a midfield with him in it, you know, if it was a 4-man sort of diamond midfield with him in it, but then also that kind of quality of player, what that I'm talking about, that spoiler. We need that person that can boss that midfield around there. Labardi is the key person, but for me, I like him going forward as well. We have someone whose sole purpose is there to break up the play of the opposition. So I think that midfield person we need. And there's no Mark Harris coming back, unfortunately, although I think he should have more of a chance while he was here. He didn't get too many chances, but when he did, he took them. Fair play. He scored some important goals for us, Mark Harris. But He's obviously gone back to Cardiff. He's not coming back here. So we need to replace him. So we need a forward, we need a central midfielder, and we need a central defender. And I think a right back, because I think Pipe is coming to the end. Really sad to say. I think he's coming to the end now. He's getting caught out for pace too easily. And Forbes, I don't think is good enough defensively just yet. I thought he reminds me a lot of Dan Butler, so there's potential for him. But at this particular moment, that right side is costing us. And we need to get a grip of it. Because Dan Butler's not perfect with his defending, mind you. But he's better than he was. He's always improving. Tyler Forbes needs to go through the same transition. But in the meantime, I think it's time that we bring in somebody else who can sit at that right back. Or go 2 centre-backs and utilise Franks at right back because he can play there. Or, long-term solution as a wing-back to use Robbie Wilmot down there. Why not? Something to think about, food for thought. So yeah, there we go. That's enough rattling on about the county. Still painful from the weekend, but hey, you know, what can you do now? Look to the next game, home to Exeter. We've got a good home record against them, except for the season we got pumped 4-1 by them during the Great Escape season. So hopefully we can turn it round. We play well at home against the top teams, so if I'm going to go all out, I'm going to say a Newport County win on the weekend, stop the rot, get back to winning ways, go to Middlesbrough with confidence and see what we can do up there. So for those of you going on Saturday, I'll see you then, and for those of you going to Middlesbrough, I'll see you up there. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, cheerio for now and up the county. Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.